Recognizing if an employee might quit helps you as a manager decide to either prepare for their departure or help retain them if they're good talent. So let's talk about in this video, what are the warning signs that an employee might quit? The first sign is a decline in productivity. This one's pretty obvious. If you've noticed that an employee is becoming less productive or less hands-on engaged than they previously were, that is a really good indicator that they will be leaving or they are planning to leave at some point. So to prevent this, you can always schedule regular check-ins, hear how an employee is doing, and get opportunities for feedback for them and from them as you require. In this prevention activity, you're able to address any concerns that they might have or to take steps to actually change some of the issues that they might be having within the current organization. The second sign that an employee might quit is an increase in absenteeism. If an employee is not coming in as often, or if they are working remotely and you don't talk to them as much, it's probably a sign that they're going to be leaving at some point or that they are not wanting to be at the actual organization that they're working for. And as a manager, it's important for you to know when an employee is absent and for what reason. And you don't have to know specifically the reason that they're not there, but if they say, oh, I have a doctor's appointment or something like that, that's good. But if you just notice that your employee is not coming in as often or they're not communicating as often, that's usually a red flag that they're about to leave. How you prevent an increase in absenteeism, other than just requiring employees check in with you every minute of the day, you can make sure that your team is aware of the notice period. If they're planning on being out, they have to put in a notice at least 2 weeks before that they're not going to be there and that it has to be approved. And then you can start tracking any changes that come with employees who are putting in the notice to take on PTO or take vacation days versus the number of employees who are taking sick days. But having this policy in place allows you to track or be observant of different trends with employees if they're continually taking time off or if they're just absent from certain meetings or certain projects. That's usually a red flag that they are about to quit. The third sign is a lack of enthusiasm. With every employee, when they start out working, everyone has this overexcitement or this honeymoon period, and it is normal that after this honeymoon period, they kind of plateau. They just kind of have this evergreen mentality of going to work, and some days are good and some days are not good. But if you've noticed that they've gone from a plateau to being overly unenthusiastic or overly critical of the organization, that's usually an indicator that they're about to leave or that they're thinking about leaving. To prevent this, you can actually schedule meetings with your employees or have conversations with them to find out what is exciting for them in their role, what are the things that they're looking for in their career development. And during your conversation with them, you can find out if there's parts of their work that you would rather delegate to a different team member to free them up to be able to do more of the things that are exciting to them. And the fourth sign is if they have a change in attitude or behavior. Now, similar to a lack of enthusiasm, if you've noticed that your employee's behavior has become really edgy or really kind of toxic, it's usually an indicator that they're trying to get out of the organization and that they kind of resent themselves for still being in the organization. If their attitude is constantly negative, or if they have come into work for the past 2 weeks and they're just overly bitter and unsatisfied, there could be personal things that are happening in their lives, but it also could be the case that they just aren't wanting to be there and that they're looking for a way out or they're looking for another job. Now, if you notice that an employee that you want to keep has had an attitude change or a behavior change, most of the time managers don't necessarily want to keep those type of employees. But if it's somebody that you want to keep and it's somebody that you've just felt like has been having a really bad time in the organization, you can start implementing different ways of recognition or different ways to acknowledge the positive things that they've been doing and being able to kind of bring them back into a positive work culture where they're interacting with their teammates in a positive way by giving them a little bit of accolades or giving them some sort of recognition that what they've been doing has been above satisfactory. And if you're still wanting to keep this person and you're looking for a way to measure their output or their performance, check out this video that I made about measuring your team's KPIs and examples that you could use. And with that, I will see you on the next one.